Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rechak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the tabernacle of David, the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Listen, just to quote the book of Sirach, the 11th chapter and the 25th verse, there's a forgetfulness of affliction in the day of prosperity. In the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction. And you're starting to see the transformation from all the prosperity that these women were able to experience in the glory days of Babylon. And I'm talking, maybe the last 50 years or so, when you was introduced to feminism and the elites, they use these CIA operatives, and they came to you with a movement and tagged you along and made you feel empowered and made you feel like you didn't need your significant other. Corporate America adopted you and brought you into the workforce, and you was able to, generate income. You was able to get benefits from the state, from the government. You was able to get affirmative action, Section 8, all these different tools that you was able to boast, showboat, boast, float. And now the tide is turning. The chickens are coming home to roost. And this is where you finding yourselves. And I know you hate that, this had to happen. Where your daddy, the serpent, the deal, the man, the entity that you made that deal with is now beginning to turn his back. And let's just say that your services are no longer needed. Because like my man Uncle Elroy from Next Friday, I cut that bitch Sugar's nasty ass to the curb. Got me a new bitch. And you know who that new bitch is for E? AI. All right. AI is now the replacement. So them corporate jobs, these federal jobs, a lot of women are getting booted, primarily the so-called black women. Hundreds of thousands of jobs lost and counting. And it's not done, because there's still a lot of businesses that are going down, and they're laying off a lot of people. So you're going to start to see more women in this economy. They're going to look like this Edomite woman right here. Now, it's already enough of them, but this is just one example. Let me play this real quick.
Like being young in 2025? Here it is. I just got off an 8-hour shift at work where I make double minimum wage in my state. I hop in my car, check my banking app. Cool, I've got $50 to last me till next week. Then I remember, oh shit, I have to run to Walmart because the wire in my bra snapped. I don't have underwear because it keeps going missing. My eyelash curler broke, and I have no food. I bought 4 things. 4 fucking things, and it came out to $40. I'm living off granola bars. But I hop my depressed ass back in my car, and I look at my banking app again. Oh, cool, I've got $10 now to last me till next week. I try to drive, but my car keeps misfiring. I can't afford to fix that. So I keep on parking, turning off my car, turning it back on until it decides to act right. 30 minutes later, I'm finally heading home to my 4 roommates. I pay $8.50 a month. Now give them that's everything included. But $8.50 a month with 4 roommates! Remember back in the good old days when a man could afford to feed, raise, house his family on minimum wage? And he had a second family on the side who he also housed, fed, and raised. You know what I say to all that? Fuck you! You guys had it so fucking easy and then you destroyed everything behind you. Fuck you! Boomers want to know.
So this is an outcry from Generation Z, Edomite woman, all right, about how bad it's gotten. And she's jealous that back in the old glory days, men was able to, work one job and that would be enough to sustain an entire family. It ain't like that no more. All right. And you can say goodbye to them to those days. All right, and the scriptures do say in Ecclesiastes, seek ye now the Lord in the days of your youth, while the evil day come not. We're in them times now. Shit is rough. All right, the dollar had its glory days, its heyday, and now the dollar is as weak as it's ever been in history. Your purchasing power is diminished. It's devalued. So that's the reason why your purchasing power don't have any reach anymore. So it's gonna cost you a lot more to pay for things that are not that valuable. All right. But also you do got valuable things like food. It's going up. Your rent going up. Price of homes going up. And these women have the nerve to still have this prideful attitude in a dying economy. So you keep this attitude up, which is all based on what was built up from the glory days, when you was in your feminist movement, when you was working these good jobs and you was being made to think that you could do it on your own. You didn't really need a man. You're your own provider. You're your own breadwinner. Well, look what's happening. Okay. So this is a post, and I believe these studies was around for a couple of years now. But this Instagram post, by 2030, around 45% of women aged 25 through 44 are expected to be single and child-free, according to new study. And that's basically just 5 years from now. And I believe that can increase even before then. All right, when you consider that there could be a military draft soon, with the escalation of conflict, on the other side of the world, Russia not backing down, China not backing down. All right. The walls closing in on the IDF, the Israeli regime, with all those countries over there growing disapproval and it's totally despising, them gutter rats over there. So we can end up in a war, and that's gonna bring a shortage of men. All right. So a lot of women are gonna end up desperate out in these streets. All right. And this also gives credence to Isaiah 4:1. All right. When you look at these circumstances and the conditions, if it's going to be that many single women and women outnumber men, what do you think is going to happen? All right. So I'm gonna read some of this post here, and then of course we're gonna get to the scriptures. It says recent projections from Morgan Stanley suggest that by 2030 about 45% of women between 25 and 44 years old in the US will be both single and without children. You know, because a lot of these women, they got their heads messed up, you know, listening to that damn serpent. You let him put that bug in your ear. He planted that poisonous seed in your mind, and look what it has produced. Broken families, broken homes. All right, the nuclear family destroyed. And that was the ultimate objective of the serpent. All right, he knew what he was doing. We're not ignorant of Shaitan's devices. All right. It says this, and that's why the scriptures say, when it comes to our women, you know, they be trying to teach and, you know, trying to usurp authority. You was the one that was deceived. And look at your nation. After you was the one that was left to raise it. After you chose the latter. 1 Timothy 2:11, and it says, let the women learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. And that order goes back to the beginning. After Eve did what she did, the Lord said her desire would be to her husband and he will rule over her. All right? But they don't respect that, which means ultimately they don't respect the Most High's order. And that's why a lot of you're going to be left in the dust when that time comes. You're already starting to feel the effects, but you're still proud. Our men they're ignoring you now. They're not showing up. They're not paying you attention. They're not approaching you anymore. There's a reason. It says, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. And you got deceived again. You got conned. You know, you thought you thought it was gonna come with a good deal, but it was a crappy deal. It came with temporary benefits and a little power. But we always say amongst us, the devil always wants his money back. He always comes back to collect what he gives. So it was good while it lasted. And now you women, y'all about to be in a very, very harsh predicament. And you should have never alienated and isolated yourself against your own men. The damage is already done. You know? It says, notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. And most of these Western women, they couldn't carry that. They would not be able to handle this task. All right? Faith, charity, holiness, nah. There's only a few sisters that's going to be able to, handle that. But these women that have gotten used to, being lazy while being pedestalized, everything being given to them. So if you leave the modern woman today to do a task, she's gonna think that you don't mean well. Like you're trying to be a tyrant. You're trying to oppress me. After being programmed by the damn serpent. So your current mindset, your mentality, is what's leaving you single and childless. All right? And like the scriptures say, as is the mother, so is the daughter. So your way of living, your mentality, you just influence it. You just influencing the generation right after you. All right? So let me go back. And it says, This trend has been steadily rising, up from 41% in 2018 and is expected to grow by 1.2% annually, outpacing the overall population growth rate. And this is all part of the depopulation agenda anyway, working right into the hands of the elite that wanted depopulation, break the family, the nuclear family, make men and women hate each other, give the women these benefits so that they don't need their significant other. And that's what's been happening. No, we don't need leadership from you men. We'll just let the government lead us, since they're taking care of us. It says one of the major reasons behind this shift is that many women are prioritizing their careers. And yeah, you put all your priority on that so that you can glee about your accolades, you know, which the scriptures say in 1 John, the 2nd chapter, the 15th verse, love not the world, neither the things that are in this world, but the things of this world are the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. So a lot of these women, they prioritize their careers because they want the pride of life. They love this world. All right? They want to be able to flaunt it and throw it back in your face. Especially their men. You had women in the past say, look, we're running circles around our men. We're more educated than our men. I make more money. We make more money than you men. And the only men that we want is men that make just as much or more money, which is very unrealistic. And in a dying economy, you just wait and see. It says during what's often considered their prime working years, this lifestyle change is being supported by evolving cultural norms, increased access to education, and opportunities for economic independence. And that's what he promised to y'all. Get you women into the workforce so that he can tax you. And now you tired. Now you saying, hey, I'm burnt out. Well, this is what you fought for that. You wanted that. And then you said you don't need your men. All right. Economists like Ellen Zentner note that this shift may actually benefit the labor market. Well, now is starting to be affected by AI. AI, they're not going to complain about being burnt out. They're not going to go and complain about getting a raise. Okay. So AI is the new investment. That's basically E's new bitch. All right. He's kicking you to the curb. It says, as more women are able to work full time and contribute to the economy, yeah, but at what cost? Because they're not able to keep up with bills, rent. And they might be able to make some money, but it all has a destination, which we all fall into that. You got to basically live with somebody, or you're going to have to work 2, 3, 4 jobs. So it ain't going to cut it if you on your own. And then if you got children, it makes it worse. So a lot of you women going to be dying to get you a man, a husband. It says, single women are also known to spend more on travel, entertainment, personal care, and retail, which boosts consumer markets. Yeah, this is where you do a lot of over spending, over consumption. That's why shopping malls and places where you could spend a bunch of money, it caters to the women and markets to the women. Okay, you don't know how to budget. So all this is about to start getting cut short. And you're going to want some type of comfortability. You ain't going to be able to find that on your own. It says, however, there are growing concerns about the broader social implications of these lifestyle changes. Lower birth rates could accelerate demographic challenges like population decline and aging workforces. Because then you got to work basically all the rest of your life. All right, work until you old, and then you just drop dead. Additionally, some studies suggest that unmarried, child-free women may face increased mental health challenges related to loneliness, lack of social support, or identity. And that's why women are going to start to get desperate. All right. So, hey, these are studies, man, that they're reporting. It's untimely. While this trend reflects greater freedom and autonomy for women, it also raises important questions about the future of family life, societal structure, and long-term well-being. Anything from this devil is definitely not for your well-being. Anything from this damn serpent, you better believe it has a negative effect. Now, the scriptures say, if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, but at the end he would declare his wickedness. That's why the scripture said to never trust your enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So now you're seeing the effects. But you made the deal with him. You made that covenant with death. So now men are going to start. Well, it's already starting out on a small to a small extent. But men are going to, especially the men of the Lord, you're going to really see how valuable men actually are. This is Isaiah 13. Isaiah 13:12, it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. All right. So this is going to put men back at that advantage. All right. You outnumbered us, and then you boasting about how you're educated and you're making all this money and you're self-sufficient and don't need a man. Esau's cutting everything off. Isaiah 32, it talked about how the vintage is going to fail. You're going to lament for the teats. Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Many days and years shall you be troubled. And we ain't even hit Jacob's trouble yet. We're in the beginning of sorrows, but we ain't even hit the time of Jacob's trouble. But when there's war in the streets, when all hell breaks loose, Trump already considering putting troops in all these major cities where you Jakes are at, primarily. They're putting them in D.C. Then he's thinking about putting them over in Oakland, over in Chicago, over in L.A., and across major other cities where Jake makes up the urban areas. So, yeah, the Lord is he's visiting that pride, man, especially from you women. Let me get that in 2nd Esdras. Many great miseries. And then we'll close it up. I don't even gotta go to Isaiah 4:1. You already know what it say. Second Esdras 8 and verse 50. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And these are part of those miseries that's coming upon you. Now, the rising cost of literally everything, every necessity, the price is going to continue to rise until you can't afford it. Then you're getting booted out of the workforce because you're being replaced by AI. And this devil's going to make it to where you're going to be dependent upon his new system. His new system of control. All right? And you've been used to that because you've been used to the dependency on the government. So now all he has to do is just lure you back, but this time he's gonna give you UBI. You got to come up under this digital slave control system, this digital Tower of Babel. Eventually, you're gonna have to get that mark, the C-hip. All right. A lot of these women are gonna have that Lot's wife mindset, and you're gonna think back to how you had it, how easy and comfortable it was, because you women were at ease. So, yeah, man. And you women, you're gonna mourn not having that security. 2nd Ezra 16:33, it says, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, the women shall mourn having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. In the wars, their bridegrooms shall be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. And that's how the Lord's going to make a man more precious than fine gold, because the Lord's going to bring them through all these different calamities. Pursuing to Job 5 and starting at the 19th verse on down. Okay, Isaiah 65:13, etc. And these women, they're gonna recognize what they're seeing when they come across the true men of the Most High, because we're gonna be in peace, man. Because the angels are gonna be guiding us, and hey, it gets no more secure than an angel walking with you, guiding you in all your ways and all your steps. All right, that's security from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai from heaven. So what woman wouldn't want that type of security? Well, a lot of brothers are gonna remember, because it's already bad. Like the men in this world, they're already turning their eyes away from you. But we're gonna remember the last 5 decades, the treatment, all right, the resentment, all right, the disdain. So I just had to put that out there, man. And a salute to you sisters that are sticking by your husbands and that are doing the right thing. All right, but this is a bad look. All right, and we're only just in the beginning. All these single women, and they're gonna outnumber the men. So you ain't gonna have nothing to say in that day. Isaiah 4:1, that's definitely gonna happen. So anyway, with that, I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.